Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Live Album War. Today we've got two heavy metal greats released in the 80s. From Germany, we've got the Scorpions Worldwide Live, released in 1985. And then from Great Britain, we've got Judas Priest Priest Live, released in 87. All right. Both of these bands have already appeared in our tournament so far. Ironically, neither one of them will make it to the second round. I was actually pretty surprised that Tokyo Tapes and Unleashed in the East both got beat, but it happens, right? You got to have some surprises along the way. So now it's up to these to see if either one of them makes it to round two, right? So one of them is going to make it, obviously. So Worldwide Live by the Scorpions, obviously recorded on their Love at First Sting tour of 84 and 85. Released later that year in 85. A pretty strong, spirited live album. Very different than Tokyo Tapes, obviously, right? Tokyo Tapes contain all of the old material with Uli John Roth on guitar. Here we've got all of the stuff released just post that, right? Okay. Animal Magnetism, Love Drive, Blackout, Love at First Sting. Kicking off with Countdown, right? And moving right into Coming Home. Okay, you got Blackout. Bad Boys Running Wild, Loving You Sunday Morning, Make It Real, or Fantasy, Big City Nights, Coast to Coast, Holiday, Still Loving You. I mean, this is basically like a live greatest hits from those four albums, right? Rock You Like a Hurricane, their big hit, and a song played at my wedding, actually. I insisted. That was very cool. Can't Live Without You. Ma. Another Piece of Meat, right? The Zoo, No One Like You, Dynamite, Can't Get Enough Part 1, Six String Sting, little guitar solo by Mr. Matthias Jabs, and then Can't Get Enough Part 2 to kind of finish the whole thing off. Overall, a relentless live album. Start to finish, packed with, like I said, I don't know if you want to call them hits, but all of the best tracks from those albums, right? I mean, everything's on here. You can't not argue with the set list on this. It's just absolutely just nonstop, go for the jugular, right? If you're into that period of the Scorpions, right, this is like the soundtrack to all those albums, to all those years, right? Great stuff, great performances by the band. Klaus sounds great on vocals. You got Rudolph and Matthias. The rhythm section just like. I listened to this for the first time in many years the other day, and I was like, wow, that has held up pretty damn good. Because for me, right after this period is when I kind of lost interest in the music of the Scorpions. But this captures a very good, very strong kind of second wave, so to speak. I don't mean to discredit the initial Scorpions with Michael Schenker, but that was so brief. I can't like the first wave as kind of that and the Uli Roth era, and then this, right? A killer live album. Energetic, beyond belief, right? So here we've got from the Turbo Tour, all right, recorded at like all sorts of different places. This one was recorded, San Diego, California, Los Angeles, Costa Mesa, Paris, France, West Germany, whereas this one was recorded at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia, and the Reunion Arena in Dallas, Texas in 1986 for both. June, both, okay. So I saw both of these bands on these tours, actually a couple times. So I remember it, pretty fondly. And again, just like the Worldwide Live is representative of that era exclusively, this album also representative of basically everything post Unleashed in the East. Okay, so your British Steel, okay, Point of Entry, Screaming for Vengeance, okay, all that kind of stuff. So Defenders of the Faith, Turbo, that whole era. So, if you're looking for, Beyond the Realms of Death and Victim of Changes and all that kind of stuff, you're not going to get it here, right? So we got Out in the Cold. Great anthemic tune to kick it all off. Heading Out to the Highway, Metal Gods. Metal Gods very good on here. Breaking the Law. Interesting to hear it so early in the set on this live album, because if you've seen Priest anytime over the last 20, 25 years, that's always all the way at the end. Okay. What else? Love Bites. In the Dead of Night. Love Bites. What else we got? Some Heads Are Gonna Roll. Pretty heavy version of The Sentinel. One of my favorite tracks from that era. Private Property, Rock You All Around the World, Electric Eye, pretty barnstorming version of that. Turbo Lover. Say what you want about Turbo Lover and the Turbo Lover tunes. They actually come across pretty well live. This is actually a really good version of that. Free Will Burning, okay, off of Defenders. Like that quite a bit on here. Parental Guidance, Living After Midnight. You've Got Another Thing Coming. Again, those two tracks and Breaking the Law usually finish out any preset nowadays, along with, got a couple bonus tracks on here, right? All right, not on the original album. You got Screaming for Vengeance, Rock Hard, Ride Free, and of course, Hellbent for Leather, which is the one track off of this live album, okay, this new CD version of the live album anyway, that is also representative, but that is representative of the earlier part of Priest's career before all the other stuff that's on here, right? So, a pretty strong live album, I think. It depends on your love or not of a lot of this 80s material. Okay, I think, I mean, let's face it, I grew up with the band during these years. As I've gotten older, I've gravitated more towards their earlier stuff, but there's still a lot of really strong performances on here, some really good tunes. Is it a little heavy of kind of like Turbo, Defenders type stuff? Well, yeah, but, Defenders is a great album. Turbo is decent for what it is, but I think it's good. It's just like, it's very different. Like, I think this was a period in time where Priest was trying to be a little bit more mainstream. This album overall is, not as heavy as Unleashed, I don't think anyway. But it's still, the performances are good, the production's good, right? It's, the crowd noises to me are amped up way too much, in my opinion. But they were doing that with a lot of live albums around that time. But, a good sounding live album, and I remember digging it when I was younger, and I know a lot of people still love it to this day. I like it, right? But if I had to look at them both side by side and make a choice, I'm going to go against my beloved Priest here, and I'm going to pick Worldwide Live, all right? I'm going to pick Worldwide Live in a unanimous decision. It's a pretty back and forth battle the whole way, but I think the energy and just the set list itself and the performances, performances are great on here too. I just think the set list on this is much stronger, okay? Appeals to me more, and I've always enjoyed this live album a little bit more. That's just it, all right? But not knocking this because I dig it, right? It's funny because if I had to reach for a Priest and Scorpions live album, I wouldn't reach for either of these. I would take Tokyo Tapes and Unleashed in the East. But these are great second choices. But looking at them both side by side, I got to go with this. Like I said, unanimous decision. 116, 114, 115, 113, 117, 111. All right? But you can't go wrong. There's no right or wrong here. We're not saying one's better or worse than the other because we all like what we like, right? This is not some textbook explanation, right? Okay, so that little white circle with the eye in it up above, cast your vote for Judas Priest or Scorpions in this particular live album discussion. Go on our Facebook page and do the same, all right? We'll see which one advances to round 2 in 6 days. Put your comments below. Tell us what you love or don't love about these albums, all right? And if we've got any of you trolls on here who are going to tell me heavy metal sucks and we should be listening to other stuff, get lost, all right? I'm losing patience with people like you. But anyway, just have fun with it, guys. That's what the show is all about, okay? We're just discussing. We're like people hanging out at a bar at a party talking about albums we love, right? That's it. So this is on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on the Mighty YouTube each and every day. More stuff coming up, so don't touch that dial. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.